All right, listen. We're going to talk about one of Buck's favorite topics, race. No, so Jim Trotter is filing a lawsuit against the NFL. Okay.
Yes.
And obviously they're going to deny what he's claiming. I mean, that's how lawsuits go. But I'm going to pull up this lawsuit real quick. This is something it's not a surprise. This is something that was in the works. The NFL has been in the news a lot since last year about their race relations, and B and I covered that extensively. It started the year prior, not last year, the year before, right? When they got caught. What was that? Thing that they're doing? Race norming. Okay, if you don't remember what race norming is, race norming basically said that black people are naturally dumb. That's essentially what they're saying. They're not as smart as their white counterparts, so that's why they can't get money for CTE because yes, the white people they might have lost a few brain cells, but black people they're always this dumb. That's essentially what they're saying.
Yeah.
All right. They got caught with that. Of course, they took that out of their method of paying players for CTE. Then you had Brian Flores along with a few other black coaches file a lawsuit.
Which is still ongoing.
Yes, it's still ongoing. And now you have Jim Trotter filing a lawsuit against the NFL, and I'm gonna bring up some of the things that he is claiming here. It says this is from his lawyer. It has already been acknowledged by many in the media that the NFL retaliated against and took vengeance on Mr. Trotter, and I think this stemmed from when he drilled
Roger Goodell, and he did it 2 years in a row. He asked questions about the lack of people of color in their newsroom because he worked for he actually worked for the NFL Network, I believe it was at the time.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And then the following year he brought it up again because no changes have been made, and then shortly after they let him go.
Yeah, because I'm bringing it down for a second because he did ask about hiring more black coaches or whatever, right? And Roger Goodell's just like, look, man, I can't do anything about that, right? Like I answer to the owners, like it's out of my hands. We can encourage them, we can get them incentives, but at the end of the day, I can't. There's very little that the league office can do about that, which is true. But your offices, right, in the media room, you have a lot of control over that.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the change? Right? So
and they made it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he says basically the NFL retaliated against and took vengeance on Mr. Trotter for him having taken the NFL to task on its discriminatory practices. The NFL's treatment of Mr. Trotter is consistent with a documented history of silencing, retaliating against, and blackballing black men who speak out about such conduct. This is the NFL's modus operandi and part of the fabric of the league. Those are some strong words. The fabric of the league. They said this is just who they are. But Mr. Trotter's experience with discrimination and retaliation was not limited to his termination. Throughout his employment, Mr. Trotter witnessed and observed discriminatory and or hostile conduct by his employers, including by NFL team owners, that went entirely unchecked as a matter of standard operating procedure. Now, this is where it gets fun. As one such example, Terry Pegula, owner of the Buffalo Bills, stated in reference to player protests against racial injustice that, quote, if the black players don't like it here, they should go back to Africa and see how bad it is, unquote. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Back to Africa, all the way back to Africa.
And see how bad it is. I mean,
right.
It's pretty nice in Africa.
Yeah. South Africa is pretty nice. You know what I'm saying? There's some really nice. Kenya's pretty nice. There's some nice areas over there. Mr. Trotter raised complaints and concerns about this remark, but no remedial action was taken. As another example, Jerry Jones, owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and I guess personal friend to Warbone, All right. Responded to a question posed by Mr. Trotter regarding the dearth of black professionals in decision-making positions for NFL teams by stating, quote, if blacks feel some kind of way, they should buy their own team and hire who they want to hire, unquote.
Good thing didn't want any part of that statement.
Right.
But I just want to have here the most hilarious thing about that statement, because I think we all know that Jerry said that, is
and basically no action was taken.
You decide who gets to buy teams.
Yes.
And you don't ever pick black people.
I was like, I'm pretty sure you guys wouldn't approve if there was a group that was headed by someone of color. You guys would probably say no. Correct. Because you don't want to let them into your white man club.
Except for Shad Khan, people will point out we got a colored, right?
Yeah.
Who's also
okay. You got one out of 32. Come on, no.
Yeah. Right. Correct.
Such a small.
We don't need to speculate here. Jerry absolutely said that. Okay. And that's why I'm
Jerry has said similar things on the record.
This guy right here, okay, standing right behind Biff, who's trying to terrorize 2 black students. Okay. He said that. He absolutely said that. We don't, I know Stephen A, his good, my good friend Jerry, he was only 12, and we can't judge him for that, right? I know Stephen A wants to throw himself in front of the bullets for Jerry Jones, but this is who he is. Okay, we don't have to sit here and speculate. That's who he is. He definitely said that. The Bills owner definitely said that. Jim Trotter ain't lying about that.
Yeah.
Right. And this is a Bills quote. I got to put it out there because they put out a statement. The statement attributed to me and Mr. Talking about this is the Bills owner. In Mr. Trotter's complaint is absolutely false. I am horrified that anyone would connect me to an allegation of this kind. Racism has no place in our society, and I am personally disgusted that my name is associated with this complaint. Now,
that part's probably true too.
Now, I'm pretty sure at some point that he said, I don't even see color. Right? That's a favorite one that I'd like to say. I don't have a racist bone in my body. I don't see color at all. Right? I mean, I'm just looking right through you. You're transparent.
like you don't even matter.
Yeah, almost like you're not even there.
Yeah. So I mean, look, I don't know how much is going to be in sports media, because sports media, I mean, these leagues own these channels in that way, right? Like they have deals with ESPN. They might do a little something about it, right? They might have a little segment, but it's not going to be something that they're really going to drill the owners on, right? Obviously, the NFL Network isn't going to say much about it, right? They're the ones getting sued. FS1 as well. So this is why we're going to talk about it here, because this is where you're going to hear most of your coverage on YouTube and podcasts and things like that, which is why independent media is so important, because stuff like this can't get swept under the rug.
Jim Trotter was not like a beat writer, but he definitely, a lot of his columns were about the Chargers when they were in San Diego. So like, I've known who he is for a long time. He's very good at what he does. So I was very sad to see that he had to do this, but he's not wrong whatsoever. We've already discussed it. Most likely what the Bills owner said is most likely true. We know Jerry Jones definitely said what he said. Yeah. And it's just sad to see that he has to go to this length to hopefully make some change.
And it's crazy to me that people would, I mean, look, I know that if somebody says something about you personally like that, you're going to deny it just because, right? But as a league, like, you've admitted several times that you're racist, right? Like, what do we think the Rooney Rule is? Right? It's the league saying, man, we definitely don't hire anybody darker than a certain shade, and we need to fix that.
Because you know what you do if you really care? You don't make a Rooney Rule. You get rid of the racists.
Well, but yeah, but look, and this is where I'll give the Steelers as an organization some credit. because it was pushed by that family, the Rooney family.
Yep.
And they don't have the power to just get rid of people. Right?
No, not them. No. Like I'm not. Yes, the Rooney's. Yes, they wanted to make some change. Al Davis really pushed for change.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, they couldn't get rid of specific owners, but the league adopted it, right? And then the league pushed it even further recently when they extended it to like coordinators and front office positions and everything like that, and they started rewarding draft compensation, which again really tells you how ingrained the racism is. If your team is going to be like, no, I'm not taking that third round pick. But so you have that, and then like you mentioned, the race norming that it was league policy that black people are dumb.
The most disgusting thing out of everything I've heard.
I don't understand why.
Before you brought it up, I had never heard of that term, but I've heard of what it is. But I've never heard.
You mean before you brought it tonight?
Yes, I had never heard of the word.
Thanks for not watching our show, Buck.
Watch the show, Buck. Appreciate it.
It was 2 years ago, but yeah.
But
it might have been a little longer too, yeah.
But like, obviously, I knew what it was because yes, I won't say I hear it all the time, but yeah, people kind of.
Who you hanging out with, Buck? What are you hearing it all the
white
time?
people.
you know who he's hanging out with.
Hey, I've been really good about that the last few months. So
just the last few months, goddamn, bro.
Yeah, since
he's become friends with you guys. When he's become friends with you guys, he's like, nope, no more racism. That's
hey, what's up, Big Red? Big Red says I start laughing every time he calls him Biff. Listen. You telling me that guy in front with the cigarette hanging out his mouth with his sleeves clearly rolled up. You can't see him in the picture, but they're rolled up. He probably has his cigarette pack in one of his sleeves, right? Are you telling me him or anybody in the immediate area is not named Biff? You tell me there's not a single Biff in that picture whatsoever, right? There's no Opie in that picture at all. I'm gonna call BS on that.
Opie Taylor, I got your Opie Taylor.
Unfortunately, the NFL has all this power, and something's gonna happen where nothing comes of it. And it's just sad.
Well, I'm sure it'll get settled.
It'll get settled.
They'll issue an apology and promise to do better. But yeah, it's not going to be any real actual change.
No, the only thing we can do is just point it out. Don't let it get swept under the rug. That's why we keep bringing up these things, right? I know some people complain, well, why are you guys always talking about race on your shows? Because it's always about race.
and look, we know what Jerry Jones is about, but what he said is what it's actually going to take. Hey, obviously you can't force team ownership, but the more coaches, black coaches get hired, the more black GMs get hired, more black people will be able to fill those roles in the NFL, and that's progress from where it has been. And I think eventually, there will be a black majority owner in the league, probably after Jerry's gone and a few of his close friends, but. Right now, like this week or this past week, we had the highest number of black starting quarterbacks ever to take the field in 1 week. Right, it was 14 black starting quarterbacks in the league, more than there's ever been.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah,
there's more.
Almost half.
Yeah. There's several black GMs. There's black head coaches. There's black coordinators. So the progress is going slowly because there are people in the league who still kind of fight against it. But I think it's one of those things that's inevitable. You just wish it was happening faster.
Yeah,